Okay, so maybe you can introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what's here.
I'm Eyck. I'm a publisher of contemporary design, and each year I give commission to a designer to create objects with a specific material. And this year I asked Christine Meinersma to create objects using flax as material. So here you see candles from flax, lamps from flax, a rug from flax, a stool from flax. And strange is that flax as material, people don't know what it is. If I say flax, they say, well, what's that? I've never heard of it. It's strange because a lot of objects are made from flax, like normal and natural rope is flax. Even in the industry now, like Mercedes-Benz, they use flax as a material for the interior parts of the cars, of the Mercedes cars. So it is, people forget what the material is. They just think in rope or in carpet or in candle and not in the origin of that product.
And there's obviously an amazing amount of diversity of things that you can do with it. Yeah.
And what she did, it's so beautiful. If you look at the candle here, she made a very small thread of flax, and she split it in 5 small threads, did it once, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 times, and then you get a candle made out of flax in the form of a flax plant. This is
beautiful.
This is gorgeous, I think.
Yeah. And so you do this every year. What were some of the other materials that you've done in the past?
I started in 2007 with Studio Job and pewter. It's also a very old material, very traditional, and it was a very baroque collection. Last year, 2008, I worked with a woven willow weaver. The company is the last company in Holland weaving in a 17th century technique, and they didn't have clients because nobody wanted to sell the traditional baskets. So I asked Scholten and Wijns, 2 Dutch designers, to create objects using that specific technique. And it was I call it a big success. It went to different musea, they sold it for their permanent collection. It had a lot of attention. The company is doing very well now, and that's what a side effect of what I hope, what I'm doing, is that those companies are growing because it gets attention. And the same with this ropery company. This man is gorgeous, he can do such a lot, but in fact he only used it for traditional objects. And he was very enthusiastic about my idea, working with him. And well, if I see the reactions here in Milano, I think he will get it very busy next month, and I'm very glad he had to do a lot.
Well, it's interesting because you're using this as an opportunity not only for people to rediscover material, but to discover artists and designers as well.
Yeah, exactly.
No?
That's what I like.
Yeah.
And of course, I have to sell because this is why I have to make money of selling these products. And yeah, it's when I look at this, I'm really so glad how they look like, how they are made. If you look at this lamp, normally you always try to hide the cable of the lamp. You put it under the carpet or behind the bench. No, it's object of it's part of the design. So you even can buy a wooden object to put your cable around, and that makes it so, so perfect. That makes me happy.
So what are some other materials you're hoping to use in the future for the project?
So many materials to discover. Leather, I think that's so beautiful to work with leather. And I know what I will do in 2010, but it's still a secret. I want to tell that.
We won't tell anyone. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's fine. YouTube's a very small community. I'm sure no one will find out.